Welcome to another episode of Talk Music Talk. I'm Boice. I'm your host for this podcast. On today's episode, I am in discussion with Josh Medsker. Josh is a music writer and educator and the creator of the music and literary zine 24 Hours. Josh is originally from Anchorage, Alaska, but he now resides in New Jersey. We had a discussion in my favorite cafe, or one of my favorite cafes in New York, in the East Village, Cafe Pick Me Up. So you will hear some ambient noise, which I think adds a nice texture to the show. But Josh has written for Maximumrocknroll, Perfect Sound Forever, which is an online zine, and I'll actually be interviewing the creator of that zine shortly. He's also written for Austin Chronicle, NoDepression.com, and he is a pretty cool guy. I hope you enjoy this interview, but stick around for after the interview for Coda for some last-minute tidbits and all that other good stuff. Thanks for listening, and here's my episode with Josh Medsker. Well, I'm here with Josh Medsker. So I know you way back from Barnes & Nobles.
Yes.
What, 7-8 years now? Has it been longer?
We both worked together in the self-improvement section.
Self-improvement, yes.
Slash music.
Yes, not that we needed it.
No,
not that we needed self-improvement. It was redundant that we were there. But Josh is here to talk about zines.
Yes.
So Josh, you're a writer, musician.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say I'm a musician. I'm a wannabe musician. Mm-hmm. I've wanted to play music forever.
But you play guitar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been playing guitar since, 1992.
Mm-hmm.
Off and on. Bass guitar, regular guitar.
Okay.
The first thing I played was the bass. My little punk rock band in Alaska. We were called the Reggies after the Archies.
Oh, okay.
So we were like the evil Archies.
Uh-huh.
It was like garage rock and bubblegum rock.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. So I did that.
Okay. You were guitar and sing, or
bass
just guitar?
guitar.
Oh, bass guitar. Okay. Did you sing also?
And
or?
backup singing. Yeah, a little bit.
Cool. And how did that fit in? You had your zine. Your first zine was 24 Hours. Where was that in your musical
That's a long
timeline?
Well, 24 Hours is actually the one I'm doing now. The first one was called Noise, Noise, Noise.
Mm-hmm.
That was 1994.
Uh-huh.
So we did that from 94 to 1996. The reason we did Noise, Noise, Noise was in Anchorage, Alaska, where I'm from. There was no local music writing at all, like whatsoever. The daily newspaper didn't write about it. The only thing they would write about were like cover bands. You know what I mean? Like they had bar bands who they played like Lynyrd Skynyrd covers and
or Mink Floyd or something like that.
Right. And every so often you'd have like a local rock and roll band, and they'd play at a what do you call it? Like a VFW or a Shriners Club. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And nobody cared about any of that stuff. And so I found out about all of these local rock bands through friends of mine in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was 1989 to 1990, 91. And I was like, holy shit, this is amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Just kids rocking it out. So right around 91, 92, I decided that I'd always wanted to write. I never had the guts to do it. I'd been writing poetry and stories and stupid little things like that.
But not publicly.
What's that?
But not publicly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'd written some poems for my girlfriends and things like that. But I had friends in bands, and I'd always wanted to write about them and take pictures. And I was like, shit, somebody should cover this stuff. And I thought, well, why not me?
Yeah.
But it took me a full 2 years to finally get up the courage to do it. And so, Christmas of 1994, I finally just said, fuck it. And I did it. And I literally went to see some friends' bands on a Friday night. And after it was over, I went to Kinko's with my stuff I'd written down.
Yeah.
Typed it out on their little typewriters, because back then they had typewriters at Kinko's.
Yes,
Kinko's.
I remember that.
And got the pictures developed at, no, not CVS, because they don't have CVS up there, but, drugstore. Taped the pictures to the paper, cut out the stuff I typed out by hand.
Totally old school.
Yeah, like scotch taped it to the shit. Yeah. And photocopied it, made 50 copies of it and sold it to my friends for $1. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it sounds silly, but that was it. And that was my start of writing.
Now, were you a fan of zines before that, or like what zines were you reading?
Yeah.
And how did you get them?
Huh?
Like, what were you reading, and like how did you get them at that time?
There's a little cafe next to the independent record store. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there you go, record store. We were talking about other music. You and I were. Before we turned on the mic. There's a place called Mammoth Music up in Anchorage. It's actually still around, which is awesome. It was right next to the cafe that I used to go to whenever I was skipping school in college, my freshman year of college. I'd go to this place, to Mammoth Music, and I'd look at records, records and CDs and tapes and stuff. And then I'd walk across the street, get my latte, and I saw this little photocopy deal. So this is like 92. And I was like, damn, like somebody actually made this thing.
Yeah.
Like it looked like crap, but like somebody actually made this thing with his hands, and he like drew it, drew the cover. And I was like, I could do this. And I'd read, Maximumrocknroll, which is a huge, punk zine out of San Francisco. And I was like, damn, like I want to do this. And so, like I said, a couple years later, I finally got up the guts, and I did it. And it was really liberating.
How so? How was it liberating?
It had my name on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used the pseudonym because I was kind of afraid. I was Captain Chaos. K-A-O-S.
So were you writing just like concert reviews, whatever, show reviews, that type of thing?
Yeah. Show reviews, record reviews. I didn't do poetry at that time. Like a year or two later, we had people writing poetry. I didn't really want to do literary stuff at that point because, I don't know, it was still sort of beyond me at that point as far as skill level. So, and I was getting my degree in journalism.
Okay.
As I really had no interest in creative writing. I mean, it was creative, but I had no interest in fiction or poetry.
Okay.
I mean, I did, because I was interested in that in high school, but I'd sort of moved on, I guess, at that point.
Okay.
I came back to it later.
So you were in college when the first issue came out?
Yeah, this is like, I was 19, 20. Yeah.
So what was it about zines that you connected with?
Gosh. I mean, I never really liked the idea of a gatekeeper. I like the idea that anybody could just do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of people who shouldn't. I don't know how to say it. I don't want to say that nobody should have a
voice.
Yeah, I mean, this can make me sound like a jerk. I think everybody should have a platform, but people should be able to succeed and fail on their own terms.
Okay.
There's a lot to be said for being able to fail, being able to set your own parameters. for success and failure. Like I said, I was in journalism school, so I had those. I was going to college for journalism, so I had that background. But I could go to a show on Friday night, print it up on Saturday morning, and then everybody, like literally everybody within my group of 200 people would be talking about it on Monday, and then the weekly newspaper would pick up on the vibe that next day. And you can't, and this was pre-internet, like you can't get that anywhere else. I mean, it took a lot of hustle.
Yeah. Yeah. How were you getting the issues out?
Dude, like we made flyers. Like every other day, we were out making flyers or taking pictures, or I don't know. Honestly, a lot of times we just made shit up.
Yeah.
We had, I don't know, half a dozen groups in town. They all shared the same members. I mean, Anchorage is a small place. There's, I don't know, 250,000 people in the whole town, whole city. It's a little blue-collar, redneck city. You have maybe a couple hundred people who are into punk/alternative music.
So it wasn't like this huge community where...
But everybody knew each other, and I mean, if you have a dedicated group of people who are out there, like I said, hustling it.
Yeah.
And back in 94, 95, 96.
Yeah.
You could have a weekly newspaper that could pick up on smaller publications like that, and I don't know, like you could have a little funnel, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't really do that now. I don't know. It was kind of a unique time. One of the editors asked a friend of mine to write for them. There's the weekly newspaper up there, but he ended up going to work for the daily newspaper, and they suggested that I work for them as well, but sort of like because I was being an idiot, and I was complaining. Oh, you never write about this band, and you always how did it go? Okay, so there was a big expose that they wrote on music in Anchorage.
Yeah.
Right. So this is like the summer of 1995, and I was being a little idiot, and I had complained that they didn't talk about band X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So they ran an editorial, and they said, Josh, we appreciated what you said about us not fully covering the scene. Maybe you should consider writing an article for us. And I was like, fuck you guys. Blah, blah, blah. And I was basically being snot. And I didn't even realize that if we could all work together in our tiny little scene, we could have built something really big and awesome. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So is it about like they were the man type thing, or the establishment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. You live and you learn, I guess.
Well, did you see that? I mean, because that would have been anti-punk of you too.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't see beyond the end of
Yeah.
your nose.
No, you were youth. It was youth, right?
Youth.
Yeah. So you were the what other things were going on at that time? It was.
Oh,
so this was 999, right? Did I get the time right?
Noise.
Noise. Why did I say 999?
Yeah, no.
When did 24 Hours come? Well, okay.
Oh,
First,
geez.
what were the other zines during that period, and then we'll get to 24
Well, you mean in
Hours.
Alaska? Or
Yeah, in
general?
Alaska.
Oh, God. There's a really great one called AK Verve.
Mm-hmm.
This guy named Brian McMillan, MacMillan.
Okay.
Google that guy. He's incredible. Still lives up there. AK Verve. Yeah, that was like an all-purpose alternative culture magazine, newsprint, the whole bit.
Yeah.
He was kind of like my foil. Man, talk about me being an asshole. Yeah, he was definitely my foil, or at least I thought
How are
so.
you an asshole?
Oh, dude, I was just a jerk. I thought, oh yeah, I want to be Mr. Big Punk Rock guy, and he was like he was a total hardcore hippie.
Yeah. So you were gonna like overthrow him?
Yeah,
and then
I thought I was gonna
Okay.
like, be Mr. Big Shot. Dude, you would have hated me. I was such a little bitch.
So what would you like write bad about him? in
Yeah,
yours? Okay.
but I mean,
Did you personally know him or?
yeah, no,
Okay.
we were all friends, but I was just. It was all a pose.
Mhm.
It was all a pose, boys. Everyone's gonna listen to this and think, man, that Josh Medsker, what a fucking idiot. But
No, they're gonna
I
think.
I grew up.
Yes,
Thank
well.
God. No, but I ended up writing some stuff for the AK Verve right before they went under. So that was good. No, but B-Mac is an awesome guy. He's a carpenter actually now. He worked for some Alaska theater, and he does movie sets now.
Mhm.
When they do movie sets in Alaska and Canada too, I think. Anyway, yeah, they're an all-purpose alternative culture magazine up there, and he it was sort of like the mouthpiece of hemp culture. He was always doing stuff for like marijuana.
Mhm.
What do you call it?
To legalize it, or
Yeah, legalizing pot and what do you call it? Progressive causes.
Okay.
Which I'm all about. Always have been. So, like I said, at my heart, I was always down with what he
Mhm.
was about, but I just had to be the jerk.
So, was that overall jerkness in your life, or just?
Oh no,
Okay.
nah, just with him,
Okay.
because he was like, I want to get along with everybody, and
Okay.
but I'm like, nah. I had to wear the leather jacket and have the blue hair, and
Oh, you have blue
Yeah.
hair?
no, it was black
Okay.
and white and pink. You know,
I know. I'm trying to imagine.
I know you can't, can you?
I know. No, I can't. I
You
can't.
can imagine me scowling, right? No, seriously. When I was in high school, people used to walk down the hallway and tell me that I needed to smile.
Yeah. I hate when people say smile.
And I'd say, "Fuck you."
Were you a
never
lone
saved
wolf?
Their face, because I was Mr. Yeah, I had trouble talking to people.
Okay. But you're
Yeah.
good now.
I know.
Yeah, you're very good now.
Yeah. Oh God.
What was Anchorage? Okay, see, I know nothing about
Uh-huh.
Anchorage. The only thing I know about Anchorage is the Michelle Shock song.
There
But
you go.
yeah, don't sing it because of
That's right.
rights or all that stuff. Because
Wait,
I
what?
don't sing it because I don't have the rights to pay her
Oh,
if you
no.
sing it. But Anchorage.
Can I speak it? No.
Yeah, you can speak it if you
I
want
was the skateboard punk rocker.
to. Oh, okay. But I don't know. You got a lot of bands came into Anchorage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eventually, everybody came through. Eventually.
So how long did Noise last?
2 years.
Okay.
From December of 94 to October of 96.
Okay. And how many issues did you? Was it weekly? It was weekly? Were you doing it weekly?
Oh, no. God,
Okay.
no. For the first year, it was monthly, and then we did every 2 months.
Okay.
So it was, I had to think here, Jesus, 11 issues.
Okay, that's pretty good. And you were doing it all yourself, or were you just like?
No, a couple
Finding
of buddies that
people
did
that
it with
were-
me. And in the second year, we had all sorts of people that were doing it with us. So my friend Virgil did it with us. My friend Michelle, this other guy, Rex did it with us. But yeah, like a whole bunch of people in the scene. we had a guy in Seattle that was distributing it for us. Friends in San Francisco.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we
it
got
was
around.
okay, so it was beyond.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So speak about maybe a little about the history of zines because
sure.
it wasn't reputable. It wasn't reputable at that time, or had it zines,
Well,
or was it
depends.
mainstream? Yeah.
It depends. Like there's a chick in your neck that was Al Hoff. She did one called Thrift Score that I always loved.
What was it called?
Thrift Score?
Okay.
Yeah. I actually just friended her on Facebook day before yesterday.
Oh, really?
Hey, Al. She is awesome. She was one of the first people who turned me on to what do you call it? Desktop publishing with zines.
Okay.
I was living in Portland, Oregon in the summer of '96, and that's where I first saw it. And that was one of the things that made me want to like go more legit, so to speak. And actually, with the noise, we did our last one we did was more like Portland based. We published it in Portland. It was like half Portland, half Anchorage.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it was the next to last one was Portland / Anchorage.
The penultimate.
Yeah.
Yes.
In
Anytime I can use that word correctly.
Yeah, exactly. Good word. In '96. And anyway, so Thrift Score was a good one. And it's all about. It was all about going to thrift stores and getting neat stuff like old T-shirts and cassette tapes and 8-tracks and just the usual kitschy stuff, which is like a quintessential zine thing. But yeah, it was all laid out on a computer, or if it wasn't laid out on a computer, like she did it meticulously by hand. It was all done on a computer or a typewriter. And I just thought, wow, I should really up my game because a lot of what I was doing was written by hand or I don't know. Like I've always liked graphic design, and I wanted to make it less sloppy.
Yeah.
So I mentioned Maximumrocknroll before, and that one was on newsprint, and it was laid out in columns, and it was like it was a zine because it was independent, and it was DIY because nobody got paid, and etc. But it was a professional magazine. You can go down to St. Mark's Books down the street here and get it. Like even now in 2014. So I'd always had that in the back of my mind. So it's that kind of led me to 24 hours.
So why did noise end?
Honestly, dude, I was flunking out of school, and there were some personal issues. I was deeply unhappy in Alaska. I had to get out. It took me a couple of years to actually get out after I quit it. But it's kind of ironic. Literally immediately after I quit it, so October of '96, after I quit it, my friend Rex that I told you about, who's writing for Noise, he asked me if I wanted to start writing for his zine.
Yeah.
So I did. I wrote a little article for him, and then like that week, I started writing for the Northern Light, which is Anchorage's college newspaper, and I was about to graduate. So I graduated in May of '98, but there was a very good chance I wasn't going to graduate.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how deep you want to go into it, but I have some serious anxiety and depression issues, which I wasn't really dealing with
we can talk about
at that point, and I needed to get on meds. And
it had been ongoing, or
since I was a kid, like I hadn't fully thought about it, comprehended it, dealt with it, and there was just drugs involved, alcohol, fuck, man, it's Alaska. Shit. Ask anybody. It's a fucking shit show up there. It's a mess.
Yeah.
Man, and it's just...
So did it help, the medication? Or?
Oh, no. I mean, I didn't say I got on it.
Okay.
I just, I needed to. I didn't actually get
thought
on
about
it.
it.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Yeah.
I considered it. I got on St. John's wort.
Okay.
Herbal medication, but
Yeah.
that wasn't until like a year later. And
Did that help?
yeah,
Okay.
it did help. But what helped the most was getting the fuck out of Alaska.
Okay.
And I did do that in the summer of 1998. I took off on the bus, on the Greyhound bus. I pulled a Kerouac and traveled on the bus across the state, contiguous United States.
Okay.
As you guys say down here. We call it the lower 48.
Okay. But your family was still in...
Yeah.
Your family's still in Anchorage?
My mom, dad, and sister are all living in Alaska
Okay.
at the time. And I was just like, F this. So I got out. And, yeah. But I, immediately after I quit the zine, I was like, like there was a hole that I had to fill with writing. So I immediately started planning another one. It was going to be like a rockabilly / horror / I don't know what thing. But
Was that your... I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Okay.
It sort of morphed over the years. It was going to be literary, and then it was going to be like, I don't know what. It was going to be music, and then it was going to be literary, and then it was going to be, I don't know. And it finally got off the ground in 2000, and then it died because I didn't have enough money to buy the paper.
Yeah.
And, you know, or maybe you don't know.
Yeah, artistic stuff.
Zines cost money to buy the paper and the staples, if you didn't know. And then in 2001, when I was living in Japan, teaching English.
Yeah. Now, how'd you get from Japan Okay, so you went from
All right,
Anchorage
so
to... Anchorage to where?
All right. So it's... so 1998, traveled around the U.S. and Canada. Went to Alaska again. Moved to San Francisco.
Okay.
Back to Alaska. To Japan. So by this time it's Christmas Day of 2000.
Okay.
And then I stayed there until 2002. And during that time, I taught English and some other stuff that's not relevant here. And I made 24 Hours, the zine that's...
Okay, so it started in Japan.
Current, and is now a literary magazine. So you've gone from crappy little photocopied zine to...
But it started in Japan.
Started in Japan.
Okay. Now, how did you handle distribution and all that stuff? And
I had a job that allowed me to make photocopies.
Okay.
I worked at
Those are the
junior
best
high school.
jobs.
I know.
Where you can do extra
But I don't do
curricular
don't do that anymore.
No, the old Josh.
Yes.
Yes, the old Josh.
And honestly, I don't like stapling and folding. I like people doing that for me.
Yes.
So 24 Hours kind of came from the fallout from noise, really. So when I was still at UAA, that's the University of Alaska at Anchorage.
Thank you.
When I was at UAA, after I quit noise, had the giant hole in my life, like I said, because I needed the medication, right? So we're backtracking, which I finally got on in 2002.
Okay. So what was Josh pre 2002 medication and Josh post? And what led you up to finally getting medication? What was taking over? What were you like before that?
Didn't talk a lot. I didn't talk a lot.
Oh, really? Okay. To friends, family, or
a lot of up here.
Okay.
A lot of going on up here.
Did you isolate
I
yourself?
I just pointed to my head.
Yes.
Lots of isolation, lots of walking around in the cold, Alaska. Lots of writing, but not as much as I hoped. actually, it's good because getting on the meds really helped me to produce. So, to you writers out there, help yourself out.
Yeah.
Do right by yourself.
So what was the impetus to go on the meds?
I was really, really miserable. I met my wife, and she really pushed me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I knew this was the woman that I wanted to be with for the rest of my life, and that I was going to lose her if I didn't get my shit together.
It's a good impetus.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's I don't know. Growing up in such an isolated place kind of fucks you up, and I'm just kind of geared that way naturally, like my chemicals.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think a lot of artists are, but I know that's like a weird bullshit excuse.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean. I'm sure you've met a lot of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always am interested. I mean, I think generally I'm a happy or at least optimistic person, but my art
Me too, believe
gears
it or not.
towards not happy or it's more melancholy.
Me too.
Which I'm not sure why that is. Is that an artist thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'd much rather write a sad, dreary song than something.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So I don't know what that's about. Or
See, I was just singing some. What was I singing on the way over? No, I was singing Steve Earle on the way over here.
Okay.
Not happy.
No.
And I was singing Nina Simone before that. See, also
No.
Yeah, I guess I can't give you a good example.
Yeah. No, not today. Not this episode.
Sorry, bro.
Wait, okay, so you go on the meds. How are you post-meds? Like,
Good. Yeah. Today was kind of a rough day at work, so not today so much.
yeah. I mean, but back when you first started.
Oh, good. Yeah, it was good. Really, really different. It's I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not perfect, but it's like night and day.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will tell you though that it's like you get into these weird spirals that you just can't get out of. The difference is, for me anyway, like on the medication, you're able to find those ways to lift yourself up out of the spiral. You know.
And before, like, you don't see a way out.
Right. You just don't see it. Like, you have to have somebody else tell you.
Okay.
And that, for me, that's the difference. It's scary.
Yeah, cool. So so you're on the meds, and then you start working on 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are you at? How many issues?
Oh, man. What are we up to now? We're up to 22?
Okay.
22.
And how has it evolved from?
It's evolved very nicely. I'm really, really happy with it. In the beginning, I mean, I've always been happy with it.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, it kind of sort of started out as like a Reader's Digest / Utney Reader of zines. So we'd do an interview with the zine writer every issue, and then we'd excerpt some of their work. So for this issue number 2, for example, we did one with this guy. What was his issue? His zine's called Be Bottom Smooth.
Okay.
And all he did was travel around the country on freight trains. So this is 2002. He was a roommate of my friend Rex, the guy I told you about before. He traveled around the country on freight trains, and he one time he almost got beaten up by this hobo gang, right? And so he told me that story. I was like, dude, we gotta excerpt that. So we did, and unfortunately nobody read it. So maybe we'll rerun that.
Like a yearbook edition. Or something
exactly.
like that.
And so that was I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
So for a couple of years we tried that, and see, this is what I was saying, that when I was rambling before, when I asked you to turn off the thing, it was difficult going because I at Barnes & Noble, when my boss let me sell it in Austin, nobody bought it. Like, it sat there for 6 months. And I ended up having to sell them on the drag in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Better than selling other things, right?
Yeah. and then I tried to sell them at the Sound Exchange, which is this little. You ever go to Austin?
No, I've never been.
It's this little punk rock record store that's unfortunately not there anymore.
Yeah.
What's his name? Oh, what the fuck's that guy's name? Richard Linklater.
Okay.
He used to work there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If I'm remembering that right. But anyway, I sold some there. Sold some at Barnes & Noble. Sold some at Monkey Wrench Books, which is a great little like anarchist bookstore in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a zine fair in Austin. We had the Austin Zine Library, which I started with a friend of mine in East Austin, in a little anarchist commune there. It was pretty awesome. That was good. We actually got a lot of people reading the zine there. So this is 2003 and 4. So that was kind of the heyday of 24 hours in Austin. But then we moved here. My wife and I moved here to New York City. And dude, I had no money.
Yeah.
We were actually paying double rent. We paid rent in Austin to get our landlord off our back.
Oh, okay.
So we were either going to break lease or get out of there.
Yeah.
So we had to pay rent in Brooklyn and here. Brooklyn and Austin. And I couldn't make a zine and do that.
So that was the break. There was a little break.
Yeah, there was a little break between 05 and 08. Yeah, so then I started to back up again.
When did you start it back up?
Like 08, I think. Summer of 08. Man, thank God I met my Brooklyn friends, Andrea and Margot. So those are the Pete's people.
Okay.
Pete's Candy Store.
Okay, yeah.
They're fucking awesome. You ever go there?
No. Would I have it?
Yeah.
No, I have been there once.
On Lorimer Street.
Yes, I have
Shout
been there
out.
once.
What?
Yeah, I've been there once, like years ago. So
It's
the 24 hours is print and online, or just print, or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
How often does it come out now?
Kind of whenever we feel like
Okay.
it. Yeah.
And how has zines changed? I mean, with the internet, I guess the question, not that I feel, but what's the point of...
What's the point?
What's the point of print? I'm being devil's advocate.
Honestly, dude.
Because there's not as many print. There's not as many, right?
I've always been a big believer of an art object. It's nice to have something to take away from an art show or from a rock and roll show. It's nice to have something to scribble down someone's phone number on. It's just nice to have something to hold on to. I don't know.
Because it's harder and harder to find them now, right? Print zines?
Yeah. You can go to Forbidden Planet. Do you remember Justin?
Yeah. Barnes. Yeah.
I'm going to butcher his last name.
Yeah, because he works at Forbidden Planet.
Bacolo?
I don't know. I never knew his last name.
Bacolo. If you Google that man, voice listeners, Google him. Look for his magazine, Lovers and Other Strangers.
Okay.
I'm a contributor and also a big cheerleader. It's amazing.
Really?
It's sort of a zine, but it's sort of a magazine.
Because he's at Forbidden Planet, right?
What's that?
Doesn't he work at Forbidden Planet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God, it is incredible.
Really? Okay.
So good. And they sell it there too. I know this is a shameless plug, but I'm serious. I am serious.
And it'll be in the show notes. Yeah.
So good.
Huh?
So good. Beautiful to look at. And that's the thing. I don't mean this to sound creepy,
Mm-hmm.
but people like touching people.
Yes.
People like touching things.
Yes.
Sometimes you just have to touch things.
Yes. I would agree. You should get
I'm-
that on the shirt, Josh. There's the hot T-shirt, dude.
There you go.
People like to touch things. I'll take a small commission for it. You can
That's awesome.
take the bulk of it.
No, but I just
Yeah, no, I agree. There's just
That's-
something different about picking it up,
Yes.
folding the cover back, curled up in bed or whatever, as opposed to, with your
Exactly.
Kindle or whatever, which is nice, but,
Yeah.
it's a different sensation.
well, and here's the thing, you can compartmentalize. I like to use my my phone and my iPad
Mhm.
for nonfiction stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I will always go back to a book or a magazine or a zine for fiction, poetry, especially poetry. There's no way in hell I would ever read poetry on a phone
Yeah.
or an iPad. It's not even that it's sacrilege. It's just it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the biggest tech nerd you'll ever meet.
Mhm.
And this is the kind of stuff we were talking about in 1995, 96. I wrote a what do you call it? Not a thesis because it wasn't my master's
Manifesto?
class. Not a manifesto. I don't know. I guess you would call it a thesis. It was
Okay.
like a 20-page paper to finish one of my journalism classes in 1995.
Yeah.
In University of Alaska, and they were asking this question. They were like, "What's going to happen when the internet overtakes print?"
Yes, remember that question when people were asking?
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
it's not going to.
No. I agree. So when did the last issue of 24 Hours come out?
When did it come out?
Yeah.
There's your P. There's your pop.
There's my P. Thank God for these screens.
Let's see. I believe it was July.
Okay.
I have been exceptionally busy with this new job teaching the kiddies. The authors of Anonymous Chapbook 1, 2, and 3, which is the project we're working on now. The author number 1 was in January. Author number 2 was in February. And author number 3 was in April. And then those they all got published pretty much after I got them in the mail.
Okay.
But then we've been like republishing them all year.
Okay. So you do chapbooks in
Yeah.
addition to the magazine.
Yeah. We're kind of sort of working towards doing chapbooks 4 times a year, like one a season, and then doing like a rolling publication schedule for the online stuff.
Okay.
We have this thing at issue.com, ISSUU. I always screw that up.
ISSUU. Okay.
ISSUU.com.
Okay.
It's a really awesome platform for online magazines. You can flip it with
okay.
your mouse, or you can flip it with your finger if you're on an iPad.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay.
So check it out, ISSUU.com.
Okay.
So if you have a magazine or a zine or whatever the hell you want to call it, now
get
that we're in the
kind of that
digital
feel.
age, you all you have to do is upload a PDF, and you can see. I told you I'm a tech geek.
Yeah.
You can upload it to your issue.com
Okay.
account. It's free and pretty sweet.
Nice.
So we're going to try to do that on a rolling basis. So contributors get in touch.
Okay. Now, does that follow, what is that, 24 Hours Press?
24hours.org. No.
Okay.
Screwed it up. 24hoursonline.org.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there a 24 Hours aesthetic, or like, what do you...
Yes.
What
Make
is
sure
that?
it doesn't suck.
Okay.
It's literature, it's music, cultural concerns. We're pretty far left on political issues, if you want to call them that. But just be honest about who you are, what you're about.
Yeah.
We'll take a listen. Be a good writer.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bullshit yourself. Don't bullshit us. Attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
As always, read an issue before
Yes.
you submit.
That's important.
Don't be a jerk. Be nice.
Yes,
That
yes.
goes a long way.
What do you have upcoming New Year? Anything? Another issue? 24 Hours? More
yeah.
chapbooks?
We are trying to do... Well, I don't want to give too much away because there's some stuff in the works, but we're working on Anonymous number 4 and 5. Yeah, that's a big concern of ours right now. We're trying to get those two things nailed down. Yeah, that's an all-consuming thing.
Yeah. You working on any stuff on your own?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of found poetry, a lot of erasure stuff. So like going through a lot of catalogs and novels and
Yeah.
picking out words and phrases that I like to create my own poems.
Yeah.
And I'm also working on this found art book with a buddy of mine in Connecticut. He's a poet. He does like weird art. I don't know, like words, word sculptures, I guess is the best way you
Okay.
can put it. Hieroglyphs. He's a weirdo.
All right.
Yeah. It's,
All sounds good.
I don't want to give too much away. 'Cause
No.
It may or may not be getting shown at a gallery somewhere in the city. But shh.
But people can... Well, yeah, okay. So what is the best way for people to stay in the loop
Ooh,
on all things Josh
look me up on
Medsker?
Facebook.
Okay.
I'm the one that I'm not the Christian rapper.
Okay.
I'm not that guy.
You're not Tyler Perry's...
I am Tyler.
You
Perry.
are Tyler
I'm Tyler
Perry.
Perry's Josh Medsker.
Okay.
That's me. But that's my personal page.
I love that,
Thank
by
you.
the way. You know,
Thank you.
That always makes me laugh. Tyler Perry's Josh Medsker.
I'm Tyler Perry's Josh Medsker. That's my personal page. The writer page is the one of the guy who looks freaked out. It's a
Okay.
black and white page.
That's the Christian Josh Medsker? Or?
No, that's
Okay.
Josh the Revelator.
Josh the
Medsker.
Revelator, okay.
And I'm also not the. Oh no way. Oh yeah, no. There was another one that's a little boy. That's not me.
Okay. Well, I'll put the correct link for people
Okay,
to
so
find.
here's the easiest way.
Okay.
There's a guy
Uh-huh.
wearing Buddy Holly glasses,
Uh-huh.
black and white picture. That's me.
That's you. Got
I
it.
look like I'm straight out of 1950. Okay.
Because you used the 1950s filter. Is that what it was? Okay.
I have like this crazy like blank stare on my
Uh-huh.
face. That's me.
Cool. Well, thank you, Josh. Is there anything we didn't talk about that you're just dying? Anything you want to say about zines?
I don't know.
Is zine culture still alive? Is it?
You know what? It really is.
Okay.
Um,
Has it all moved online? Is it?
Well, that's a matter of debate,
Mhm.
actually.
And is it a zine once it moves online? Is it?
That's also a matter of debate.
Okay.
I don't really want to get into that.
Mhm.
It's a tricky thing. I say yes. Other
Mhm.
people say no.
But thank you, Josh.
Thank you, dude.
Thank you. It's nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you.
There you have it, my interview with Josh Medsker. And again, you can check out his music and literary zine, 24 hours at 24hoursonline.org. That's 24hoursonline.org, and that's all spelled out in words, no numbers in there. Make sure you subscribe to this show, Talk Music Talk, on iTunes. You can go on there and subscribe to the show. There's a link in the show notes. And if you enjoy the show, enjoy this episode, please, please, please subscribe and leave a very nice rating and or review. It would be greatly appreciated by me. And you can check out the show website, talkmusictalk.com, talkmusictalk.com. You can say hello there and check out other things on the site. Till next time, this one's for you, Liz.